do not be sidelined right now in crypto. Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high, $81,000. Ethereum is coming up on $3,300. We're going to talk about why that's such a significant point, that $3,300. But also, why I'm betting on HEX, PulseChain, PulseX. You know, if you've been liked and subscribed to this channel, you've heard it all before, but I want to make a couple of points. One of them is the scarcity of HEX in particular. Guys, there's only less than a billion HEX in the total buy-side liquidity. And also on top of that, the only way to buy HEX involves its liquidity being tied to Pulse. So when people buy HEX, they actually push the price up of Pulse because you have to route through Pulse. So like, let's say you're buying with stable coins or Ethereum, right? You first have to buy into the Pulse pool and then you have to buy the HEX. And just another way to think about this scarcity. All right, a way to visualize it is that there's only enough HEX for sale on the open market. Remember, 919 million. That's less than a billion left. So that means that less than 1,000 people, if they all were to buy 1 million HEX today, there's only less than 1,000 people that are ever going to even be able to get 1 million HEX. So that 1 million number, it's kind of a very special number symbolically, right? Because 1 million, what if HEX goes to $1? Everybody can understand that if HEX goes to $1, then a million HEX is $1 million. It's a good anchor point. It's a good thing to keep an eye on. It's a good goal and vision to have because it might go higher than $1. We don't know. It could easily go higher. But 1 million HEX is only becoming harder and harder to get, and it's only going to become a smaller group of people over time, a more exclusive group of people over time. And if you already have 1 million HEX, congratulations, because there's not that much left. You know, just a couple months ago, it was only $3,000, maybe $4,000 to scoop up a million. Now it's about $17,000. HEX is up today. And let's just go check on the prices, shall we? It's actually $18,000 because HEX is 1.8 pennies today, up 20%. A weekend pump, guys, a weekend pump. This is rare for crypto. I mean, can you imagine when the normie traditional markets open up tomorrow on Monday? The Bitcoin ETFs start trading, the Ethereum ETFs. By the way, the Ethereum ETFs just saw, I think, $60 million of inflows, which doesn't sound like a lot. But you've got the world's very first pension funds, like the Michigan State Pension Fund. There was some other pension fund, like the Firefighters Pension Fund or something like that. Guys, traditional finance institutions they're dipping their toes into the water here for Ethereum. They've already been buying the Bitcoin ETFs. That's why Bitcoin's at an all-time high. But once that first domino falls, you understand, the first domino of, like, let's say the Michigan State Pension Fund, all these institutions, they just want to see somebody else go first. And they don't want to take risk. Institutions are slow. They have tons of money, but they don't need to risk it all. They don't need to go degenning. They don't need to go buying stuff like HEX with, 100x upside. Because they're just not going to buy into that narrative. They don't need to when they've already got multiple millions and when they're managing other people's money. But now Ethereum is even starting to sound like, well, why not have 1 or 2% exposure to Ethereum? And now the world's economic liquidity, like the global liquidity, trillions of dollars out there. If even a tiny fraction of that flows into Ethereum, we could see 7,000. I wouldn't be surprised to see $10,000 Ethereum at some point in 2025. But for retail, like you and me, as we know in crypto, guys, the opportunity lies in the newer stuff, the untapped markets, the stuff where there's a very, very small amount of people that know about it now, and a very large amount of people that haven't even heard about it yet. That's why I'm making these videos. Got to tell the world about it. We've got tons of people on Twitter, tons of people on YouTube. The awareness is out there. The marketing machine for HEX and PulseChain, once retail comes in, they're going to pick up on the guys that are yelling the loudest, which is this ecosystem right here. I'm not even joking. I mean, it really gives Bitcoin a run for its money. Bitcoin it's not what it used to be. It's kind of like, now they're worshiping TradFi and stuff, and we're out here talking about the brand new thing. It's only a year and a half old. As you can see, PulseChain itself is up 9%. BLS up 13%. INC up 11.5%. The prices look good. But yes, HEX is scarce. Did you know there's actually 600 billion HEX tokens out there? Yet less than 1 billion of them is actually on the market for sale. So people focus a lot about market cap, but they overlook a lot of times liquidity, which is even more important than market cap, because liquidity is how much is for sale, how much can I buy and sell, and right now you can see it's about $15-16 million on each side. Now let's say the price does a 100x. I mean, can you imagine? I can actually imagine a world where eventually the liquidity is in the billions. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's take things one day at a time, and let's see what else is going on in the news, guys. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto news. I want to point out Altcoin Daily. Shout out to Altcoin Daily for doing something that 4 years ago would be really unheard of, honestly, because HEX was so taboo. People don't realize that HEX was the scary thing. None of the mainstream people ever wanted to mention it or talk about it. And there's still the large majority of crypto, mainstream crypto, let's call them, they're not going to touch HEX, or they're not going to talk about it until maybe it does a 10x or 100x, then watch them all come flocking. But Altcoin Daily, he's just engagement baiting everybody. He's engagement farming everybody posting tweets like this, where you'll notice what he does, right? He posts a video, but then he posts a bunch of ticker symbols. And you've got what? Brett, Bull, Sui, Ada. Look at that one right there, guys. Hex. Hex is right up there in his ticker symbols. Now, why is he doing this? It's clickbait, guys. He doesn't even talk about it in the video, but he knows, he's a clever marketer, he knows that he wants to actually ride on our coattails now. So do you see what's happened here? The brand name of Hex has penetrated through crypto so much that the reason this is actually significant is because this is the clever thing for people to do. Like, it's actually better that influencers would mention Hex because they'd get now more attention. Because they know we get the most engagement all throughout the bear market. The highest engagement on social media was from PulseChain community, PulseX people, Hex people, and all the meme coins and all that stuff. We've been here the whole time. And growing while Hex dropped 99%. Now it's back up again. But this, I would not be surprised to see YouTubers, influencers, mainstream people try to pick up on this as a clever engagement tactic. And we got to welcome it, right? Because it'd be nice if everybody started talking about it. But at the same time, the fact that they're not yet means there's still opportunity. Again, it's like the first domino to fall, right? Once one guy talks about it, all of a sudden it doesn't become as taboo. It doesn't become as risky. And like other people will feel more comfortable talking about it. Ivan on Tech, he's been a friend for a long time. He's been a believer for a long time, actually. But Altcoin Daily is a very big channel. Shout out to Altcoin Daily. I see what you're doing there, Altcoin Daily. It'd be cool if you mentioned Hex in a real video. But using us for engagement bait, think about it, guys. Who's really controlling the narratives here? Who's really controlling the narratives? Because this video, it's pretty generic, right? It doesn't really talk about a whole lot of coins. It talks about Charles Hoskinson and Trump and like just the news, right? But the more big names start to talk about Hex and PulseChain and PulseX, things that literally 4 years ago, there was nothing but scam articles, nothing but hatred, literal hatred from outsiders. And nobody could really point out why Hex was a scam. They just heard it was a scam. And so they said it's a scam. Oh, Richard's going to dump all the coins. 5 years later, he doesn't dump the coins. You've got the SEC case probably going to get dropped. And why do I say that it's probably going to get dropped, guys? It's because of Mr. Gary Gensler, public enemy number one for crypto. Guys, everybody knows this. But with Trump getting elected, I'll repeat this one more time, as if we haven't already heard it. But it seems extremely likely that he's going to get fired. Or that he's going to resign, right? Because typically, that's what the last guy did. When Biden got elected, the last guy resigned and they put Gensler in there. This time, Trump has verbatim said that he will fire Gary Gensler on day one. He said this, so if you take his word for it, he said that at a Bitcoin conference in front of a whole bunch of people. And even JD Vance, even Vance, the vice president, is also talking about, I saw him giving a speech going into the specifics of why Gensler has been so bad for crypto. He's been so hostile. And you guys have heard this before. Obviously, we all know reckless enforcement, regulation by enforcement, not making new rules, but trying to apply an 80-year-old law to a brand new asset class rather than make a fair playing field. So applying these rules arbitrarily without designing a new legal framework, regulatory framework, it's hurting more investors than it's helping. In crypto, at least. Maybe once in a while you catch a scam, but then you end up suing all these companies, Richard Hart, Coinbase, Kraken, all these companies that are doing a lot of good for crypto. And individuals. Richard's not a company, he's just a person. But they've all done a lot of good for crypto. And now people are scared that, I don't want to build in the USA because I'm just going to get sued arbitrarily by this guy. Well, people have been moving away. People have literally taken crypto innovation to other countries. So this new administration is going to bring crypto innovation back. It's like imagine if they were trying to sue every different internet company out there in the early days of the internet. So here we've got an anonymous source. Basically, trust me, bro. But also I do, even though it's an anonymous source, we've had enough from the horse's mouth, from JD Vance, from Trump himself, telling us that they'd fire Gensler, that Gensler will resign at the end of December. So that's something to look forward to. It's going to continue to pump all of our bags, but also PulseChain in particular, because of that case that we've been talking about on live streams. If you haven't heard by now, go watch my old videos. It's looking very bullish for the SEC flat out dropping the case altogether because they know that their arguments are weak and that you can't sue a piece of code that's actually decentralized. It doesn't even make sense. So that's something to get excited about, guys. Something to get excited about. Also, of course, Solana just goes down time after time. I think it went down 12 times in the past 2 years. On average, that's one downtime every 2 months. Okay, so it's getting tiring to say this, but chains like Solana, they are centralized. They do go down. Now, I don't know if this was the wallet or the nodes or whatever it was. It was like Phantom Wallet. But just choose PulseChain. Okay, this doesn't happen on PulseChain. Stuff like this does not happen. PulseChain doesn't go down. Hex has never gone down. It's been almost 5 years now. And it's only a matter of time before people find out that PulseChain is a better Ethereum. Hex is a better Bitcoin. PulseX is a better Uniswap. It's just a matter of time because when you're playing around on PulseChain, it just works. It's cheaper, it's faster, and way better community. Way better community, way better founder. It's just more fun as well. It's a more fun ecosystem. You feel like you found a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, right? A community with like-minded individuals, not a bunch of, pump and dump meme coin scammers with little anime profile pictures. Everyone just kind of scamming each other and insider cabals and all this stuff. That's pretty much Solana. Okay. It's hard to find diamonds in the rough over there. Very oversaturated. Now I don't want to rip on Solana too much, but it is the mainstream play. It is the mainstream play. And if you do look at Solana ETH, right, the Solana to ETH chart, let's take a look over here. I don't want to call the top quite yet, but it does look like the top could easily be in for Solana to ETH. So you could see in the past, ever since September, right, you've seen Solana gaining on Ethereum. But at some point, this has to reverse. At some point, this will reverse. Okay, Ethereum will come back. Everything is cyclical, guys. Everything is cyclical. And so you can see Ethereum finally gaining strength. Will this be the top? I mean, I'm not trading this chart, but it's a good thing to look at. And why might Ethereum start gaining on Solana again? If you just look at the actual kind of fundamentals on chain, look at some actual analysis down here. $500 million worth of shorts is going to get liquidated at 3,300. What's the price of Ethereum today? Let's find out. Price of Ethereum today is 3,250. We are just inches away from 3,300, guys. Inches away from 3,300, and then it's just up only after that, guys. It's called a short squeeze, guys. It's called a short squeeze. When everybody is betting in one direction, it's really easy for somebody to just buy the price up and wreck all the shorts, and then they have to cover their shorts, meaning they just keep buying the price up and up and up. And if you want a little more hopium, a little more hope and optimism here, you can also see that this is the ETH USDC pair on chain, the largest Uniswap pair on chain. So you can't really trust centralized exchanges when it comes to their volume, right? They fake their volume a lot. Their order books are kind of dark. Like, you don't know how much is actually on those exchanges and actually being traded. But on Uniswap, you can see the liquidity pools here. Notice if you zoom into this part of the liquidity chart, right here where my mouse is about the $4,000 Ethereum range. And look at how thin the liquidity is after $4,000. Now, of course, everybody's going to shift their liquidity because people have like dynamic LP strategies where they move them all the time. But it just shows you how thin the liquidity is after $4,000. And just look at the ratio of USDC to ETH. Look at how much more there is on the buy side versus on the sell side, the Ethereum sell side. It's almost like 75% is USDC and 25% is Ethereum. That's a crazy ratio, meaning this signals that there's way more buy pressure than sell pressure on Ethereum right now. So that's why I say it looks ready to blast off. On top of course, the short squeeze right here, if and when that happens. If you're holding Ethereum, congratulations. And somebody made this website here as well. If we want to speculate, right? No expectations and all that, but if you want to speculate, just know that there's also let's think of it as a PulseChain treasury or a sacrifice wallet. Now, all this money sacrificed is gone forever. It might not do anything, but it is fun to think about all the things that could happen with this sacrifice money, which is a lot of it's in Ethereum. It holds 171,000 Ethereum. And now everybody, lots of people out there, were very, very sure of themselves that, oh, Richard bought the top of Ethereum as if it's never going to come back. And you can see this white line right here is, I think, the sacrifice entry price. It says 3,770. So when Ethereum hits 3,770, basically the SAC wallet is back in profit again. And it's already at, $550 million. Now, when Ethereum doubles or triples, this could easily be $1.4 billion. How might this be spent? People used to speculate, oh, what if he just buys the price up? There's a more interesting theory related to something called PDAI, a forked version of DAI, the stablecoin copy on PulseChain network, because PulseChain was a system state copy. If you don't already know, it's like Noah's Ark, right? So you've got a copy of every single coin on Ethereum. You've got a PRC20 version of that on PulseChain. It's actually unlike any other fork that's been done before. So no one's ever done this before. The grand conspiracy theory here is, well, maybe, what if the sacrifice wallet doesn't just simply buy his own coins? What if he enriches PDAI holders by, and this is, to me, this is a long shot. Okay, there's some people that hardcore believe this. I'm very skeptical. I'd love to see it happen, but the theory basically assumes that by controlling the maker vault and the forked maker tokens, the PRC20 maker tokens, the treasury wallet could potentially back PDAI, okay, with a whole bunch of HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX that were just minted from the sacrifice. Kind of like the origin address, right? The origin address owns 90% of HEX. It's dormant. We typically say they're dormant coins. Now, what if all these dormant coins went to just going to back and peg one-to-one PDAI, and then the second assumption that needs to be made, which is why it's so hard to imagine because it's almost too good to be true, is that you would then need to pair a lot of ERC20 stablecoins with the PRC20 stablecoin PDAI. And maybe you'd pair some PDAI with some Ethereum too, bridged in. You know, if I wanted to play games, if I was sure that this would work from a technical point of view, that is probably what I would do, because it would be a glorious thing to do. But again, there's so many unknowns here. I don't know if there's any technical issues with this happening, like, you know, at the code level, or I don't really fully know if there's something I'm missing here. But if there was enough liquidity tying PDAI, which imagine it's already pegged to $1, all of a sudden now this PDAI is incentivized with liquidity pools to tie to either e-stables or to tie to Ethereum. And let's say you have like $100 million or $200 million of liquidity backing PDAI to eDAI. Or, you know, just something that people globally recognize. Like Ethereum is globally recognized, eDAI is globally recognized. It's like, how many millions of dollars of liquidity would you have to put in order to legitimize PDAI as well? Probably quite a few million. But even 100 million, which is probably enough, right? Maybe 100 million is enough. Look, the SAC wallet already has 550 million. Remember, if ETH doubles, that's $1 billion, right? So, that PDAI conspiracy, that's got everybody excited as well. We saw PDAI pumping. Now, I'm not putting all my eggs in the PDAI basket, because if PDAI works out, and if all those assumptions are true, then all these newly minted millionaires will also just pump HEX, PulseChain, PulseX as well. That's my logic on it. So I would not personally want to be holding like 10 or 20% of my portfolio in PDAI. But tiny little bag, why not? Let's see what happens. It's all speculation, folks. It's all speculation. Just remember, HEX is very scarce. There's not many people left that can even grab 1 million. If 1,000 rich guys spent 17K and tried to all grab 1 million HEX, first of all, they'd push the price up huge. But also just, it's scarce. Okay, that's all I'm saying, is that it's scarce. You've got HEX going mainstream. You got PulseChain going mainstream. Everybody's heard about it. Altcoin Daily is one of the biggest crypto influencers out there. Might be the biggest right now. I think he's got like 1 million, 1.5 million on YouTube. And they're using us for engagement bait. Think about what that means. Think about the power that we don't even realize that we have. All right, Solana down. Yeah, Solana. I mean, come on. Solana saturated. PulseChain, blue ocean opportunity. Gensler getting fired. Ethereum, short squeeze at 3,300. Very thin liquidity at 4K. And all this stuff lends to all these potential bullish conspiracy theories. Oh, what if SEC drops the Richard Hart case? What if the sacrifice wallet does something crazy? I mean, it's going to be a good year for crypto in general. Right? We can already tell. We've seen DeFi coins pumping, old narratives. We've seen like Aave and Uniswap pumping. Which, will they make a new all-time high? Maybe, maybe not. This could be the most epic bull run we've ever seen, guys. So far, the 4-year cycle, magically, blowing my mind, but it's still intact. It's still like right on schedule. But here's something nobody talks about. What if the 4-year cycle is broken by having more than 1 year of bull market? How about that for a conspiracy theory? What if we have a 5-year cycle because there's 2 years of bull market, Trump enters in, a golden era, you know, the golden age of the economy, everybody's buying crypto. It becomes a crypto-friendly, the USA is the crypto-friendly place to live. Look, just don't be sidelined. Do not be sidelined right now. I'm positioned in HEX, PulseChain, PulseX. I've got a bit of ETH on the side. The occasional meme coin here and there. Just don't miss it, guys. It feels like there's not actually much time left. And the difference between buying now versus buying, 2x higher from now, if you're just waiting for an entry point, you could literally just be cutting your gains in half. Because let's say we don't have a dip. Let's say we don't dip and we just double. And we end up doing 100x. Well, because you waited for that 2x on the way to 100x, you only get 50x. You know what I mean? Crypto is the only thing happening right now where generational wealth is actually on the table. So don't overanalyze it. Don't overcomplicate it. Are there going to be more people using crypto in the future or less? Look at the legal environment. Look at the new Trump presidency. It's all looking pretty bullish. The stars are aligning. Bitcoin, new all-time high, $81,000. Like, what are you going to do? Are you waiting for 100K Bitcoin to start buying stuff, to start placing your positions? I've been talking about this for a year and a half. Hey, it might work out. It could all go to zero. Of course, it could all go to zero. Just know that when it comes to, the attention economy and where people are going to be putting their money, once they're new, there's going to be a bunch of new people coming into crypto. Retail still hasn't really gone in yet. Institutions, like I said, they're just dipping their toes in the water. It's so very early. The ETH ETFs are only like the first domino to fall with the Michigan State Pension Fund. So if you've got cash saved, not wise in general, just join the capital class. Join assets that actually outpace inflation. Crypto is one of those rare assets where you might never get another crypto in your lifetime, where anybody can invest in it. You don't need to be an accredited investor. You just get a Coinbase app on your phone, buy some Ethereum, you get it into your wallet, you bridge, look up how to buy HEX. I've got tons of tutorials, how to buy PulseChain, how to buy Ethereum, all this stuff. Of course, like, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment. What do you think? Why are you bullish on the future? Why are you bullish for crypto? Why are you bullish for PulseChain? Maybe you're still bearish. If somehow you're still bearish, leave a comment below and let all the bulltards talk you out of it, okay, in the comment section. Because it's hard for me to make a bearish argument at this point. So enjoy the ride, pack your bags. See you on the next video.